What's up, guys? Welcome back to TheReviewSpace. And alright, I just want to talk about the brand new model of the PS3. That's right, the PlayStation 3 is going to get a third remodeling. A new version of the console is going to be released apparently later this year, I guess. And it's supposed to replace the slim PS3, which came out back in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, like mid-2009. They've actually leaked some pictures now, supposedly the system itself, and it has a very strange look. It actually almost reminds me of one of those 80s consoles. I'm forgetting which one, but it's from like the 80s. Yeah, one of those Atari consoles, actually. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, it's got like little ridges on the top. It looks almost like it's got a top loader thing, similar to the slim PS2, where you pop open the top and then you just insert, or you place the disc on the top loader, and then you just close the lid, and then it runs. So basically you're not inserting it into the system, and then the system, you know, that automatic, just swallow it up and then it loads automatically. Or it boots, or whatever you want to call it, technical term. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. What seems to be a picture of a weird-looking new PS3 popped up on the site of Anatel. The image depicts a PS3 labeled device with a ridged texture and what appears to be a sliding panel on top, perhaps indicating a cheaper top-loading disk drive. Oh, there's that word, cheaper. So basically, I don't know how to take that. Cheaper as in it looks cheaper, like it looks like it's lower quality, or rather it's cheaper as in cheaply made in terms of cost. So it means that it's not as expensive to produce, to create, to make using the materials. Because this whole thing, oh well, it looks cheaper. People said that about the slim PS2. Oh, the slim PS2, it's cheaper. It looks like a cheaper product than the fat PS2, than the original one. But the freaking slim PS2 is awesome, you know? What are you talking about, cheaper? Yeah, it might have cost less to produce, but that doesn't, like, lower the quality. That doesn't lessen the quality of the system itself. It's still a great working system. I got 3 slims right now, and they're great. They work fine, and, you know, it's not, I definitely wouldn't say it's a cheap console. It's not a cheaply made system. Maybe the materials are cheap, but that's just, you know, they're just trying to save costs here, people. The evidence is mounting that Sony will soon introduce the second major revision to the PS3 hardware. As reported by Technoblog, a Sony filing with Brazilian telecommunications, the most prominent changes to the hardware are the system's ridged and uneven top panel and apparent lack of a visible disk loading slot. That suggests the system will have a disk tray with a flip-top lid like the original PlayStation or the PS2 Slim, or a sliding panel. As for the size of the system, it appears modestly smaller than the current iteration of the PS3. Alright, so let's talk about the size. Yeah. Well, yeah, the slim PS3 is pretty bulky. It is a rather, you know, heavy system. It's maybe around, I would say, 8 to 9 pounds. Yeah, it's relatively heavier than, you know, definitely heavier than the PS2. I mean, you can probably fit like 3, 4 slim PS2s inside the slim PS3 itself. I think that, yeah, I mean, I would say the slim PS3 is probably around the same size as the original Xbox. You know, maybe the original Xbox is a little bit bulkier, a little bit, but it's still relatively around that same bulkiness, same weight, you know, very thick system. So it'd be nice to really have a smaller PS3. It really does make more sense, especially now at the age of the PS Vita. We have a freaking handheld that is, I would say, almost as powerful as the actual PS3 itself. I mean, it pretty much has a very, I would say, 95% graphic capability, you know, maybe 90% to 95% as powerful. So, I mean, you know, I think it's about time that the Slim itself even became smaller and became even slimmer. If you're able to put that much power on a PS Vita, which is essentially a PS3, give or take, you know, then why not, you know, have a smaller version of the slim PS3 itself? What else? The Anatel filing also notes that Sony sought approval for versions of the hardware with 3 different size hard drives: 16 gigs, 250 gigs, and 500 gigs. That's pretty cool. I mean, I like the sound of that. This whole thing where they have different gigs, though, I mean, honestly, do you honestly need a 500 gig PS3? Like, really? I had a 250 model for the Slim, and it had plenty of space, man. I had various saved games on there, and it had a lot of space. And, you know, I guess I can understand if you just download everything. You have a lot of downloaded games, a lot of saved files, and you don't want to delete anything. See, I'm the type of gamer that likes to delete a finished game. You know, if I finish a game, I complete it, I beat it, it's done, or I never play it anymore, I just delete it from the memory. I just get rid of it so it doesn't take up space. So I mean, I can understand if you want a lot of memory in there, but 250 gigs is pretty good, man. That's pretty damn. It's pretty good. I'm interested in the cost. How much is this gonna cost? They haven't given any price suggestions here. They haven't really mentioned anything. I would assume that depending on the memory, then that would obviously affect it. Like, let's say 250 gigs would be around probably $200. You know, maybe less than that. Maybe like 180 or something. Maybe even 150, maybe. But that's kind of and the 500 gigs, I would say it's probably like 200 to 250, something like that. Maybe even more, maybe 300, maybe. You can't really expect these systems to be like way cheaper, because they're not. You know, retail is gonna jack up the price. They're still gonna try to keep it as high as possible, relatively high. You know, they're not gonna like. It's not gonna be $100 system. It's not gonna be $99. Okay, the super slim Model 3 PS3 is not going to be $100. I just can't see that happening. Maybe the 16 gigs, if it's on sale, maybe I can see that. It just doesn't, you know. I mean, right now, well, how much is the system now? The Slim, like 200. You know, it was 200. No, it was like 299. No, it's like 250 now. I believe it's 250 now. Maybe 200 now. I do remember buying the 299 version though. This was a couple of years ago, obviously. You know, back in early 2010 when I got the Slim. It was well over $300 including tax, so it definitely wasn't a cheap system. Very expensive actually. So I can't imagine this having a drastic price cut, you know, like super cheap, super affordable for everyone. It will be more affordable, but somewhere around like the $200, $250 range is realistic. The new model of the PS3 has been outed before, most concretely through a Sony Federal Communication Commission filing for a CECH-4011 series of the hardware. Sony is set to announce the new PS3 model at Gamescom 2012 next month. The German industry event also played host to Sony's unveiling of the PS3 Slim in 2009. I like the Slim, you know. It had some problems, you know what I'm saying? The Slim definitely had its problems. I mean, glitches, bugs, you needed a patch every time you played a game. There's always some kind of update. Didn't have HDMI. Still doesn't have HDMI from the box, which is just stupid. You know, it's really dumb, man. How the hell can you not have HD cable right at the gate? I mean, that's just stupid to me. Just include it with a freaking price. I mean, paying $340 for a system without HDMI is just stupid. The system itself is already expensive. It's a freaking $10 cable, man. Why does it have to be that expensive? You know, it's cheap. HDMI cables are incredibly cheap. They're like $2 to $5 if you can find it at the right spot. Online, you know, $2 to $5. I got mine for $10, you know, back then. And that's not expensive. That's not like super pricey. So stupid. What else do we have here? We can't access the image direct. Oh yeah, they got pictures. So they have leaked photos of the system itself, showing the label, the front side, the back side. I mean, from a aesthetic point of view, it definitely doesn't look sleek anymore. It looks kind of weird with the ridges, you know what I'm saying? It looks actually kind of old school, like it's from the 80s. It doesn't look as sleek as the Slim, you know, not nearly as sleek as the original Slim PS3. But on the other hand, we're getting a smaller system, so that's pretty cool. That's all I got, man. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's probably gonna sell okay, you know. I can imagine like people who never had a PS3 buying this, or people who want a smaller system, you know, something a bit more you can carry it. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit doesn't take up as much space, less bulky, basically. Space friendly. That's pretty much it. So thank you all for watching this episode of Review Space, and till next time, ciao.